What's up, guys? This is Church of Caboose, and for today's Destiny 2 video, it's kind of a follow-up continuation of the last video I put up, which is all about Watercress and basically Bungie saying you're SOL, Xbox players, on trying to do your game because we've taken over a month to fix it, and we more or less pretend like we don't care that you guys can't play the game. And so we're kind of giving you guys a little bit of a continuation because I believe I have found a solution. But first, if you guys enjoy my content and want to see out more, whether it's raid guides, efficiently doing quest steps and exotics and compilation goodness shenanigan kinds of things, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you want to help out all those probably thousands of people that are potentially making new accounts and wasting their time, make sure you guys share this video, because if you do what I suggest you do, and you're able to do what I suggest you do, then you can use your main account, no worries, and don't have to start over fresh on Xbox. So what was the whole Watercress thing? Basically, is an error code for Xbox. It's not everyone, it's just a small number of Xbox dudes who got an error that basically prevented them from being able to play Destiny 2 at all on their account. It has nothing to do with your own internet or your own console, like your hardware kinds of stuff. It's all on Bungie's end, and they are aware of it. In the TWAB they put out today, which is the This Week at Bungie article, they mentioned that the Watercress issue is one of their top priorities in trying to fix, but since it's been a month, I will believe it when I see it. I do know there's some issues on PlayStation and perhaps PC that are very similar as to what is going on with Xbox, and so maybe having it be more than just Xbox now will expedite the whole repairing and fixing the error code process dealio. So what is my solution to be able to play Destiny 2 on my own account? Because you're probably thinking, Church, I've seen that footage before, so like, are you just trying to pull our leg? Well, the option I'm going to tell you guys about, I can't figure out how to stream with it yet, so I'm still using old footage, but I am in fact able to play on my account. Even though I can't play on my Xbox, I can now play on Stadia. And Stadia, it was absolutely free, and it will be for you too, assuming, of course, you already have a PC or a laptop or a phone that has a controller that you can connect to it. And I have a link in the description box, so that way you guys can figure out if your tech that you have at home is compatible with Stadia, so you guys can save yourself a little bit of time and worry. So all you have to do is make sure you guys hop over to bungie.net, find cross save, and here's a picture on the screen right now so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. So there you go. If you go to bungie.net, just kind of scroll to the bottom of the screen, and you can see there underneath companion, you see how you got sign in, sign up, season pass, triumphs, cross save. Then you just click on cross save, and it will ask you like what accounts do you want to authenticate and link to your main account. So if you're on Xbox like me, it showed all my 3 characters on Xbox, but it had blank information under Steam, PlayStation, and Stadia. So then I went and I created a Steam account, and I created a Stadia account and linked those accounts to cross-save, and then I hit next, and I was like, yeah, my Xbox characters are the ones I want to have pulled across to all these different platforms. And make sure you guys do that if you made multiple accounts, because part of the reason why I'm making this video is because people have said I made a new account and I'm starting from scratch and I feel really bad about it. So if you guys do the Stadia thing, you don't have to start from scratch. You just get to continue over on Stadia. And so you take that character, those characters, and that's what you have pulled over to your different platforms, and then you just kind of finish that whole little process, and boom, you can play on Stadia. To create a Stadia account, all you need to do is you can go on to pull up your phone. If you're on Apple, just open up your app store, Apple, whatever. Then if you're on Android, like I am, just go to your Google Play and download the Stadia app, create an account, and that is the information you put into cross-save in order to authenticate and create, have your character be cross-saved. And then you just go onto your laptop, because you need a laptop or a PC in order to actually use Stadia, but there are some options for your phone. Again, look at that link, because it'll tell you exactly what devices are compatible with what for Stadia, and then you can play on your account on Destiny 2 and play as you normally would, and it's great. There's a lot of pros to Stadia actually over Xbox. And no, this video is not sponsored by Stadia. There are cons as well. I prefer Xbox. There's just some things that are kind of nice about being on Stadia that you don't get on Xbox. One of which, and really the main one, or maybe perhaps only one, is loading times. When you try to load in for your game on Xbox, it takes like 5 minutes to load in. On Stadia, it was a minute just to go from like, hey, I'm playing Destiny, all the way into being loaded up. Also, Stadia is completely free if you do Stadia Pro, because I should have mentioned this earlier, so my bad, but you need to do the Stadia Pro free trial, so you get 2 months of Stadia for free. What that does is it gives you Shadowkeep and Forsaken at no extra cost, and then when you have Stadia Pro, if you decide to continue past the trial, it's like $10 a month, something like that nature. And at that point, I do not know if you have to pay for Shadowkeep or not. I will let you guys know if I end up getting to the point where, for some reason, Bungie takes a total of 3 months to fix the issue, and so I'm like, well, crap, guess I gotta do Stadia Pro. But like, it's completely free for at least the first 2 months, because you do not have to buy Shadowkeep or Forsaken. You just get a free trial of Stadia Pro. Put in your debit card or whatever, your credit card information. I would put a date on your calendar, like, hey, your Stadia Pro is about to start charging you, so that way you get a reminder if you want to delete it or not, so that way you don't get charged $10 by accident that you didn't want to spend. And so that's what I would do with all that, to make sure it's all free. And anyways, back to the good stuff about Stadia. That it loads in incredibly quick, like really fast load times. You can plug in your controller to your computer. I have a Windows 7, so I had to my wife had to kind of hop through a couple of loops. She's very tech savvy, and I struggle with it, and I work very hard to get better at it, but she helped me out a ton with making Stadia work. So if you're on Windows 7 or older, you might have to do a little bit of Googling about how to link your controller to play and like operate through your laptop or your PC. But my understanding is if you're on Windows 10 or newer, then you are all good. You basically plug your controller into the USB, put your USB into your computer, and your computer like, aha! There's something new plugged in. It'll automatically pull up that little file, and you're all set. And then you start playing Destiny. So it's great. You don't have to create a new account. You don't have to start all the way over from scratch. If you're like me, you don't have to necessarily be despondent. However, there are some downsides to Stadia that can be a little bit tricky. You need to make sure that you are paying attention to some tricks to make sure latency isn't a big deal. When I first did Stadia, I had a really hard time playing because the lag between when I do a movement or like try to do something like shoot on my controller was about 5 or 10 seconds before it would actually happen in game, which obviously got real confusing. So when you open up Stadia to play, I would suggest you try being on the incognito tab, and that on your phone you go to the settings, it's like data and preferences, and pick the lowest resolution settings, that way you don't have any lag. And of course, if your computer and internet is better than mine, perhaps those little tips won't help you out, but just in case, I want to let you guys know, go on an incognito, and then make sure you put your settings via the app on your phone for a resolution as low as possible, and then adjust from there, so that way you don't get as frustrated as I did with basically being able to play but not being able to do anything. And so that's one of the downsides, is you do have to fidget a little bit with your computer settings. Then one of the other, I guess there's two main downsides to Stadia. The first one is talking with your teammates is very difficult. My laptop picks up my phone as a mic, or my voice, like it has a microphone built into my laptop, so like it was picking up my voice, but I was not hearing anyone else talking, which could be because they were on their phones and didn't have a headset plugged in via USB, because whose phone has a USB port on it? Like, I don't know, maybe you do, let me know down below. And then the people perhaps just weren't talking into their laptops, I don't know. But then the other probably biggest issue is not many people play on Stadia, which means when you're trying to do pinnacle events and do raids, it might take a little while to find a team, as well as matchmaking for things like Gambit or Crucible. I did some comp on freelance, and my first, I guess, round or game of comp took close to 5 minutes to find a full team. But, you know, it's better than not being able to play at all, is what I say, or having to start a brand new account. So this Stadia thing is a really good deal. I hope this video helped you guys out with trying to deal with this whole Watercress times. I know Bungie needs time. Personally, I feel like they've had a month to fix this from home. That should have been plenty of time. But I'm also not a computer programmer, so maybe this is way more in depth than any of us can imagine. So this Stadia option is a 100% free thing for all of y'all, assuming of course you already have a laptop or a PC in your home, that will allow you to play on your account without having to start completely over. Just make sure you do cross save first, so that way you can continue playing on your account, so that way you can work on getting whatever it is you want to do. I do enjoy to some degree how all this stuff works. I'm just a little bit bummed that I might more or less just not do raids until Xbox is up. Normally I do 3 Garden of Salvation raids a week, at least since Season of the Worthy started. And with Stadia, I think I might be lucky if I decide to do 1, especially if we can't talk or aren't talking. I might not do any, but that's kind of where I'm feeling with Stadia. And my option is I'd rather be able to play and at least get things like my bunker upgraded and just have some fun working more on my account than not being able to play at all. And I think this is a great alternative because I imagine for many of you watching it is absolutely free. I also want to leave you guys with this. If you have questions about how to set it up, or like you're not quite figuring something out, feel free to comment down below and I'll do my best to answer everyone that asks for help, or just in general I always try to talk to folks. Or if you don't want to share personal information, not that I'm saying I need your passwords or whatever, but in case you feel like I don't want what I'm going through to be public, you can email me at churchofcaboose1992@gmail.com. That's churchofcaboose1992@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to answer and try to help you out that way if you don't feel like commenting is something you're okay with down below. And then finally, if you do get on Stadia, make sure you look me up on your phone. Just go to like friends and search for Church of Caboose and add me. I'd love to build a friends group on Stadia because honestly, depending upon how some other things go with this, I'm kind of tempted to maybe just keep this around, especially if I'm going to be playing by myself anyways, and like the load times are insane. Like maybe, like who knows, or if I go traveling or whatever, because all you need is a laptop and an internet connection. Alright guys, I am Church of Caboose. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great week and happy grinding, y'all.